Welcome to Pour My Mods, and today we're going to just be meeting me, seeing the Corolla, talking about some changes and why we're doing things the way we are, and just going to give you a general update too. So we're at the end of September, and figured it's a good time to really get some background information for you guys on this. It's been a long project. Bought the Corolla, I want to say May of 2011. I previously had a couple Subarus. I had an 04 STI and an 09 STI. Always wanted one of these since like middle school. Used to watch Hot Version with some of my friends and watch Suchiya do some of the cool driving stuff that he did, but whenever I looked in my local area for one, they were either ratted out beyond belief or they were drifter taxed already back then. You're talking 2002 and 3, to the point where I just couldn't justify the money on one. And I guess I came across this one around 2009. Found it in Washington State near Seattle. Talked to the owner for a week or two, had him take a ton of pictures for me of everything from wheel wells to under the spare tire to door jams and behind the fenders as best he could get the camera with the doors open. Try to get my best idea for the vehicle because I wanted to definitely get out here and buy it. Flew out, met the owner in May, got right off the airplane in Seattle. Signed the check over to him, he signed the title over to me, handed the keys off. Still talk to the previous owner today, keep him up to date on where things are. We're friends on Facebook, and kind of just drove the car home. 5 hours to get out to Seattle from where I'm at in Pennsylvania, and 5 days to get back, full tilt to get back from Washington to Pennsylvania. So plans for the car originally were just to keep it as close to OEM stock as possible. I was doing Toyota only parts and driving it pretty much daily, and then the head gasket went up one day and I sat on the car for almost a year thinking about what I wanted to do with it, if I wanted to get out of it or if I wanted to take it in a completely different direction or if I just wanted to do my own thing and kind of get back into higher performance vehicles, because obviously 4AG isn't the same as an STI is, but that's another story. So in any case, sat on, like I said, for a while, and then eventually decided that I did want to take it Panda. I really have always liked this color combination. I really like, it's a very sharp looking color like this. I know it's a very played out thing. I've gotten a lot of criticism from people online saying that you could have been more original if you're doing a color change. I decided on this verse, I was going to do a gray and black, so pretty much where you see white, it would have been a darker gray or a gunmetal. But ultimately decided to go for something a little bit more flashy, I guess, or more standoutish than a gray and black car. White and black I think is very, very subtle but still very clean. Took it in that direction, and ever since then it's just been a full-on restoration in my eyes. I know some people don't view this as a restoration because we're not going to put the original motor back in it, and sure enough that's not a Mercom or a 100% original restoration, but I really just don't feel, and I know I'm going to set some fires off with this, that the 4A for my needs is what I want to go with. And we're going through a lot of topics, but the 4AG 16 valve is a very capable motor. I think when built can be actually better than the 20 valve on the top end, but I just don't see that being a very practical motor for this vehicle with what I want out of the vehicle and what I want to do with it. I have experience with SR20s. I've looked into a number of different swaps. I mean, I've looked into this for well over a year, and to be quite honest, I haven't pulled the trigger on anything just yet, which I'm really late to the game with. But I've looked at SR20s, I've looked at 4A 16 valves, 20 valves, silver tops, black tops, supercharged 4As, turbocharged 4As, 3SG swaps, for the Honda F20C swaps. I've looked into a lot of different options with this. I'm probably just going to end up SR20ing it. I mean, I know that a lot of people will disagree with that, but I think the SR20 is a very capable motor. I think I can get the power I want out of it, which isn't going to be a lot. I'd like to see 250 to the rear wheels, daily drivable, turnkey, no problems. I've worked with SR20s before. I have a block to an SR20, which is probably out of camera view right now. Got a 240 with an SR20. There's a couple SR20s in the area. So it's really a motor that I have a lot of experience with, I'm comfortable working with, that I know I can get parts for. It's got a lot of aftermarket support. There's a lot of pros to the SR20. There's a lot of cons too, but at the end of the day, the SR20 in this vehicle versus a 4AG with air conditioning and all power accessories, the weight difference won't be that too much different. there will be a significant power difference, but again, I'm building the car with that in mind. You've seen some of the rear end work we've done. I have a COS two-way limited slip and upgraded rear performance axles, and the rear performance, I'm still looking at what gear ratio or final gear drive I want to go with. So the rear end will be able to handle the power that I want. I got the transmission sorted out. I know I'm not going to have to cut up the trans tunnel at all. You can do that if you want to run the 240SX transmission, but there are other options if you don't want to cut up your trans tunnel, which I really don't want to do. So I've received some criticism here and there that I wanted to respond to. It's nothing that I don't think you're going to get no matter what vehicles you're into. You see Poor Man Mods doing a lot of import performance, but Mark's got a Mustang, and my point of view on cars is that as long as what you're doing is clean and you're enjoying it, that all the more power to you. But I did want to take a minute to kind of respond to the fanboy comments, the JDM bumper comments, and kind of explain why I went in some of those directions. Regarding the bumpers, anyone that has an AE86 will tell you that the USTM bumpers are a nightmare. I originally wanted to stick with them. I looked for new parts for those, which are incredibly hard to source. And the front bumper for the USDM car is 3 or 4 pieces and probably 15 to 20 bolts, nuts, and fasteners. Pulling it off was not easy. A lot of the bolts were rusted, a lot of the fasteners were rusted, a lot of stuff snapped. It was a bloody nightmare. So for simplicity, I decided, hey, you know, the JDM bumpers are one piece wrapped around the car. They're not 3 or 4 piece bumpers. It's a cleaner look. It's simpler to work with. If I'm out at a track, or if something happens, if I want to work on the front of the car, it's much simpler to get the JDM bumpers on and off the car. And it's one of those calls where I gave it a lot of consideration on which direction I wanted to take it. And I eventually just said, this is going to be the simpler choice. This is going to be the easier choice. I can still get brand new JDM front bumper brackets and brand new JDM bumpers. So that's the direction I took it. And if I could have gotten brand new USDM bumpers easily and put it all together, would I have done that? Quite possibly, but it's still, like, you have the front pieces that go around the wheel well, it's just a nightmare. It's really something that I wanted to get away from. That's that, I guess. The bumpers are just simpler. The JDM bumpers are easier to work with. I just prefer them over the USDM bumpers. They're a nightmare. And then we covered the SR20, and we covered people calling me a fanboy, and I've been into 86s since before the initial D craze. I don't have any plans of racing down Mount Takena and beating Skylines. It's a Toyota Corolla. You're not going to see any of the JDM emblems on my car. I'm not going to run the Thorerno emblems. It's not 11. I'm not going to do the 11 conversion. The back of the car, which Mike will probably show you after the video here, is badged as a Toyota Corolla GTS, because that's what this car is. So that's where it will stay. It's a Toyota Corolla. I know what it is. I'm well aware of what it is. It's not an STI. It's not going to be an Evo killer. That's not what I'm aiming the car to be. I'm just aiming it to be what I've always wanted. I've always wanted one of these cars. Before I had a license, before I could drive, always wanted one of these. Import tuner, I used to read those back in the day in the homeroom in middle school and my early years of high school, and watched and drank this stuff up, and always really wanted one. So it's been a fun little labor of love, and there's a lot more to come. There are a lot of parts that you're going to see us put on in our put together video. You saw us take everything apart a while ago. We're going to put a ton of stuff on, all of it new, and go over a lot of the changes then and there. But it should be good. I'm excited. The car looks good. It doesn't drive. We're working on that. The motor build is going to be something that's going to get a lot of thought put into it. When I finally do pull the trigger in one direction or another, which again will probably be an SR20, it's going to be a lot of thought, a lot of discussion on my side on how I want to take it. So it's going to be a one of a kind. Well, one of a kind Panda painted AE86, which isn't so much one of a kind, but my whole goal for the car since day one has just been to clean it up, to separate it from the crowd, to try to give it something that's a little bit different, that's a little bit more unique. You'll see with my front bumper, it's a Zenki bumper. I actually had it painted, so a lot of guys just paint the white strip on the front of that bumper and don't bother getting it color matched to the rest of the body. They just run the black plastic bumper. I had it painted. I think it looks a little cleaner, a little more modern. So it'll be fun. We've got, you'll see coming up soon, I had the original seats professionally restored, reupholstered. They look really good. I'm excited to get those on camera. We have all new trim, we have all new door moldings, we have all new weather stripping. There's just parts on parts on parts right now, pretty much in the basement of this home that need to go in this car. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna move it to a new location and secure it. And yeah, I mean, I've even got the new fender liners on and everything, so it's coming together. Mike and Dan, who you see on camera, and Eric have been real helpful, and I'm always up for any recommendations you guys want to comment and you know, say you'd like to see or you'd like to have discussed, or if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments, and be sure to subscribe. We like that, it's appreciated. Anything else? Yeah, do you have anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, I think that's it. So again, comments, questions, concerns, tell me I'm a fucktard or initial D fanboy, or that I think I'm the next Takume. You can go for that. I don't agree. I appreciate the input either way. And as always, of course, subscribe, watch other videos, and thanks for watching.